Chex usually has a rice cereal, but they also mix corn and wheat Chex, the little square pieces, and it's mixed with pretzels and a couple of other little cracker type items. And that's usually what they sell, but I guess for the holidays they have come up with a cookie style the way that snickerdoodles usually are. Snickerdoodles are just a basic sugar cookie with cinnamon. So, I guess that's what these are going to be, but they are made in the style of Muddy Buddies. So, let's see what they say. It says Chex Mix Muddy Buddies. Celebrate the season with Chex Mix Muddy Buddies Snickerdoodle and enjoy a new twist on a favorite holiday flavor. Enjoy the wonderful blend of cinnamon and sugar in every bite. Ingredient wise, well, it's a corn base, so it's cornmeal with the basic mixture of oil and cinnamon, salt, but corn is the base, so this is not a wheat-based cereal. Fat-wise, it's actually not too high. It's about 3 grams of fat, and that's for a third of a cup, so I don't know how many cookies that's going to be, probably about 5 or 6. I don't think they're particularly big. I think they're the size of one of those wheat cereals. We'll see how big they are when I open this. But the sodium is pretty low. It's only 35 milligrams. And probably the focus will be on the sweet factor. I usually like Chex Mix brands because you get a different kind of crunch with every bite, but mostly Chex Mix, in my memory, it's mostly the salty and crunchy effect that you get from them. So they're trying to, I guess, branch into something a little bit more sweet. I did another video on Chex Mix. I can't remember if those were the puffed ones. I think I did one on Chex Mix Puffed, which is one of their other campaigns where they have like popcorn and other puffed items as a lower fat option. And then I had a comparison brand of Chex Mix. I think it's by the Basic Company. It was like a CVS company. And that was fine. It tasted the same. But this might be something easy to just open and pour into a bowl when you have guests coming over. That's probably, if a person doesn't have time to bake some cookies, then that's something that they can do. Okay, so let's open these up. Usually they have a little tab where a person can start ripping it, but I don't see that here. Okay, I might have to open it okay, well this opened pretty easily this way. Okay, so let's look inside. So they kind of look like a cereal. The effect is like, let's see, because they're not particularly big. So I don't know if these are going to have that much of a crunch. So they have a little bit of like a powderiness. There's like a very fine powder sugar on top. It's, I think, a powdered cinnamon, but it is very finely ground. So sometimes on snickerdoodles you can see the sugar and cinnamon. They sort of toast on top, and so it's a little bit crumbly. They're usually, it's not so fine grained, but this is like a powder, almost like the kind you find on a powdered donut. Okay, so I'm gonna try these. They're about the size of a cereal piece, you know. Okay. So these are, what I think they've done is they've taken, you see, if you can see this, see if I can get it a little clearer. You know, the Chex cereal, that square rice cereal. I think this might be the corn version of it though. And what they've done is they've taken this square piece and they've dipped it in some sort of a mixture so that it coats with this covering, and it's almost like a yogurt, even though it didn't say yogurt. It says confectionery. It says confectionery coating. Oh, it's whey powder and non-fat milk. Okay, so they took like so that's why I thought it was like a yogurt, because it almost has that effect of, you know, like those yogurt dipped pretzels. So it had that effect a little bit, but what it is whey powder that made you know, plus milk, and then they added sugar and cinnamon. The sugar is not particularly strong. I wouldn't say that these are extremely sweet, but you can definitely taste the cinnamon. Sometimes cinnamon can be overpowering though, because it's almost a spicy, it has a spicy effect, but this isn't, because usually in confections they don't use real cinnamon. Real cinnamon comes from Ceylon and certain Asian countries, but in the United States they use a different herb. Actually, it's called cinnamon when you go to the store and buy it, but it's actually not real cinnamon. Real cinnamon is kind of spicy. They use it in curries in Middle Eastern countries, and if you taste that cinnamon, it's very different, but it doesn't necessarily suit sweet items because it's spicy. But in the United States, I mean North America, Europe, I guess, they use the other kind of cinnamon, and it's just called cinnamon. It's a totally different plant, a very similar one, but it's not as strong, and so that's what they generally mix with sugar. And this has that taste in it. It's nice though. I would say these are actually a really light kind of a snack. The fat is not too high. The only thing is, since the serving size was only a third of a cup, I think the amount that I had in my hand, probably just a little more than that would have been a serving. So this is a kind of item, because it's not that sweet and it doesn't have that much fat in it, you could end up eating a lot more than you planned on. Like, you would just keep kind of crunching them without even realizing it. Crunch wise, it actually, I was surprised that it had a crunch, you know, because they seemed very soft when I picked them up, but that was just the coating that I was feeling. Underneath is this rice, or it's not a rice, it's their corn based Chex cereal. So that's what's the base of it, and then they added the covering, the coating that's almost like a yogurt coating, but it's not really yogurt. And then they added the cinnamon and sugar, but the sugar is very powdered sugar. So, I don't know if you've ever had white powdered donuts by Love's. Love's is the brand I'm familiar with those little mini donuts. But there's almost like a lemony taste when you eat those. It's hard to figure what that is, but because there's no lemon in it, it might just be the citric acid that they mixed with a very fine powdered sugar that gives that lemony effect. Sometimes, especially when they have sugar, anything with powdered sugar, they add citric acid just as a preservative so that they're able to preserve sugars so that bacteria and other things don't get on it. So this had that light lemoniness to it, just like those donuts, but this is a very light snack. I actually like these a lot. This is something I kind of would like them to be bigger, almost like a cookie rather than these little small, cereal pieces. So they're kind of small, and a person would just keep popping them, I guess, without even realizing it. Yeah, they are really good. I can imagine somebody really getting into these because they're light, so you don't realize, how many you've gone through. But the bag is actually quite full. So, you are getting a pretty good amount. I got this for, I think, $2. So it's like 2 for 4 kind of a deal, but that might be their holiday promotion. And that, I think, as a snack, this is not too bad. If you like a sweet snack, it's not a salty snack, but it does have a little bit of crunch. And it's not exactly like a cookie either, because the corn effect of the cereal is still there. Cookie might have more cakiness to it, but this wasn't cakey. This just the outside had that little bit of that layer made from the whey and milk, and the rest was the crunch of the very light crunch of Chex cereal, because Chex cereal doesn't have a tremendous amount of crunch, and if you mix it with milk, then it gets soggy pretty quickly. But it does have an initial crunch. It's more airy though because of how many of the holes that are in it. But I think this is a thumbs up as well. I do like these. So they had a couple of more. They didn't write the different types, and I can't remember now what was at the store that I saw, but they had 2 or 3 different types for their holiday lineup, I guess, their holiday promotion for Chex Mix. So it was Muddy Buddies, the snickerdoodle, and I think 1 or 2 other ones that were also